Section 23. The secrets they don't want you to know.
The RAND Corporation, a beacon of modern strategic thinking, traces its origins back to a post-World War II military laboratory. After the war ended in 1945, the US military faced a new era of geopolitical complexities and threats. In response, they established the RAND Corporation in 1948 as a non-profit global policy think tank to tackle these challenges head-on. Initially, RAND focused on military strategy and game theory, contributing significantly to the development of nuclear deterrence policies during the Cold War. The concept of mutually assured destruction, MAD, and the game theory models developed at RAND played a crucial role in shaping US nuclear strategy. Over the years, RAND expanded its research areas beyond military strategy to include fields such as economics, social sciences, technology, and public policy. This diversification allowed RAND to provide comprehensive analysis and solutions to a wide range of global issues. During the mid-20th century, there was a significant shift in the way mathematicians and scientists utilized their skills. Initially, their focus was on calculating bomb trajectories and other military applications, but gradually, a new trend emerged. Instead of aiming for destruction, these experts started applying their mathematical prowess to predict and influence social outcomes and civilian behavior. This transition marked a turning point in the history of mathematics and its applications. Rather than using numbers and formulas to cause harm, the emphasis shifted towards understanding human behavior and societal patterns. This shift paved the way for the development of models and algorithms aimed at forecasting trends, shaping policies, and ultimately, improving the well-being of communities. Early game theorists, such as John von Neumann and John Nash, revolutionized the way we understand human interactions by reducing complex emotions and behaviors into binary choices of cooperation or defection. In their work, they developed the concept of game theory, which analyzes strategic interactions where the outcome of one decision depends on the decisions of others. Game theorists viewed human interactions as a series of strategic games, where individuals must make decisions based on the choices of others. They simplified these interactions into simple games with clear rules and outcomes, allowing them to study complex social dynamics in a more systematic way. For example, in the classic game known as the prisoner's dilemma, individuals must choose between cooperating with their partner or betraying them to benefit themselves. This simple yet powerful model captures the essence of many real-life situations, where individuals must balance their self-interest with the need for cooperation. Now, by reducing these complex human emotions and behaviors into binary choices of cooperation or defection, early game theorists like John Nash were able to uncover fundamental insights into human nature and social dynamics. They showed how seemingly irrational behaviors could emerge from rational decision-making in strategic situations, shedding light on the complex interplay between self-interest and cooperation in social interactions. By breaking down these complex emotions and behaviors into simple choices, early game theorists were able to uncover the underlying logic behind human interactions, paving the way for a better understanding of our social world. Von Neumann and John Nash revolutionized the way we understand human interactions by reducing complex emotions and behaviors into binary choices of cooperation or defection. They showed how seemingly irrational behaviors could emerge from rational decision-making in strategic situations, shedding light on the complex interplay between self-interest and cooperation in social interactions. Stochastic models are mathematical representations of uncertainty, allowing researchers to simulate a wide range of possible scenarios and outcomes. When applied to the realm of societal collapse, these models offer a frightening glimpse into a world plunged into chaos and disorder. But perhaps even more disturbing is the notion of determining which populations are expendable in such dire circumstances. In their quest for strategic insights, institutions like RAND have grappled with the sobering reality that not all lives may be considered equal in the face of total collapse. Factors such as demographics, geographical distribution, and resource rationing come into play, painting a dystopian picture of a world where some are deemed more dispensable than others. In the evolution of warfare tactics, a significant transition occurred from physical war games to computerized social simulations. This shift marked a profound change in how cities were perceived, from vibrant communities to mere datasets manipulated for strategic advantage. Historically, physical war games were used to simulate military strategies and scenarios. These exercises involved real troops maneuvering across physical terrains, often mimicking actual battle conditions. However, as technology advanced, a new era emerged where war games transitioned from the battlefield to the digital realm. In this digital landscape, cities were no longer seen as living, breathing communities, but rather as abstract data points to be analyzed and manipulated. Computerized social simulations allowed military strategists to model urban environments, predict outcomes, and test various tactics without the need for actual physical engagement. This shift had profound implications. The focus moved from understanding the intricate social fabric of communities to viewing cities as complex systems of data inputs and outputs. Factors such as population density, infrastructure, and economic indicators became vital components of these simulations, shaping military decisions and strategies. As a result, the paradigm of warfare simulation changed. The emphasis shifted from physical prowess to data-driven analysis, where the success of a mission relied heavily on understanding and manipulating the informational aspects of a city, rather than the human elements within it. Over the years, RAND's analytical tools and approaches have found new applications in the realms of modern urban planning and social media. Initially developed for military decision-making, RAND's methodologies, such as game theory and scenario planning, proved highly effective in understanding complex interactions and outcomes in uncertain environments. These tools, which were once used to assess wartime strategies, were repurposed to analyze urban processes and social media dynamics. Moreover, RAND's methodologies have also permeated the realm of social media. With the rise of digital communication platforms, understanding and influencing online behavior has become paramount. RAND's background in behavioral analysis and decision-making processes has been invaluable in deciphering social media trends, identifying misinformation campaigns, and shaping digital narratives. In the landscape of institutional control, the RAND philosophy has emerged as a significant force shaping modern governance. The RAND philosophy operates as the invisible hand guiding policymakers and government agencies towards rational, data-driven solutions. Its principles have influenced a wide range of sectors, from defense and security to healthcare and education. The irony lies in the fact that by reducing individuals to mere data points, they have failed to recognize the complexity and unpredictability of human nature. In their pursuit of control and efficiency, they have overlooked the nuances and intricacies that make us human. The RAND Corporation, short for Research and Development, started as a secret project for the US Army Air Forces in 1946 and has since influenced everything from Cold War nuclear strategy to the technology in your pocket. The world's first satellite design, 1946, RAND's very first report, Preliminary Design of an Experimental World-Circling Spaceship, proved satellites were feasible more than a decade before Sputnik. Packet switching, the Internet. In the 1960s, researcher Paul Barron developed a way for communication networks to survive a nuclear attack by breaking data into blocks. This concept of packet switching became the architectural foundation for the Internet. Nuclear strategy and deterrence. RAND experts like Herman Kahn and Thomas Schelling formulated the concepts of mutually assured destruction and second strike capabilities, which guided Cold War policy for decades. Early computing and AI. RAND built the JONIAC, one of the first modern computers, and developed the first successful AI programs using information processing languages. Health Insurance Experiment, 1974 to 1982. This remains the largest health policy study in US history. It proved that cost-sharing, copays, reduces waste without hurting health for most people, directly influencing modern insurance plan designs. Section 8 housing. Large-scale experiments in the 1970s showed that giving low-income families cash vouchers was more effective than building public housing projects, leading to the creation of the federal Section 8 program. Storm surge barriers. In the 1970s, RAND worked with the Dutch government to design a massive movable gate system to protect the Netherlands from flooding while preserving the environment. Today, RAND continues to tackle complex global challenges with a heavy emphasis on data-driven resilience. Invisible Wounds of War, 2008, a groundbreaking study that quantified the psychological and cognitive needs of veterans returning from Iraq and Afghanistan, leading to massive shifts in how the military treats PTSD and traumatic brain injuries. Truth Decay, a major ongoing initiative exploring the diminishing role of facts and analysis in American public life and media. Gun Policy in America 2018, one of the most comprehensive reviews of gun violence research, evaluating the actual scientific evidence behind 18 different classes of gun policy. 2040 Battlefield. Recent projects for the European Parliament examine how emerging technologies like AI, robotics, and biotechnology will shape warfare in the coming decades. RAND's Cold War nuclear games weren't just recreational, they were serious analytical tools used to model the unthinkable and shape global strategy. These exercises generally fell into two camps: rigid mathematical models and immersive political military simulations. The most famous internal rivalry at RAND involved two competing versions of the Cold War game, nicknamed COW. The MAD approach was the version that relied on quantitative game theory. It treated nuclear conflict like a giant math problem, stripping away human emotion to seek reproducible, logical results. Researchers like Alexander Mood and Olaf Helmer led this effort, but it was often criticized for being too detached from reality. In response, social scientists created a more realistic version that included political, psychological, and cultural factors. These games were highly successful and were later adopted by universities and the US State Department. The results were startling. The mathematicians were often quick to launch nuclear weapons in their models, while the social scientists, immersed in the emotional weight of their roles, showed much greater nuclear restraint. As technology advanced, RAND moved from tabletop exercises to some of the world's first computerized wargames. Strategic Operations. This was a complex logistics simulation where players didn't move pieces on a map, but instead made decisions via numbers. They allocated budgets for R&D, chose weapons procurement, like bombers versus missiles, and set targeting strategies. Many of these early programs ran on the JONIAC, one of the first modern computers, which RAND built specifically to handle these massive calculations. These games weren't played in a vacuum. They directly informed the policies that kept the Cold War from turning hot. Second strike capability. RAND gaming proved that a first strike posture was vulnerable. This led to the strategy of keeping nuclear bombers on permanent alert and eventually moving to hardened missile silos and submarines. Research from these games helped the Kennedy administration move away from all-or-nothing nuclear retaliation toward flexible response, which allowed for a wider range of military options. The strange game. These concepts were so influential they permeated pop culture, most notably in the 1983 film War Games. In fact, in 2023, RAND released a new card-driven wargame called A Strange Game, designed to teach modern stakeholders about the complexities of nuclear employment. And in doing so, they have sown the seeds of discontent and division, leading to a society more fractured than ever before. It serves as a stark reminder that humanity cannot be reduced to algorithms and statistics, for our essence lies in our uniqueness and individuality. In the grand scheme of things, the irony cannot be overlooked. The elites, in their quest to streamline society and predict human behavior through data, have inadvertently fueled the very social fragmentation they aimed to model.